Etiquette is important because it implies polite behavior and helps to build a relationship with people, whether it is in the workplace or at the party. Etiquette is one way to show respect for other people and to request from other people. Some people argue that etiquette no longer matters, that the rules for good behavior are old fashioned and out of date. However, good behavior and manners are never out of style. Etiquette, like all cultural behaviors, evolves to match the times. Without etiquette, members of society will show far too much impatience and disrespectful for one another, which will lead to insults, dishonesty, cheating, road rage, fist fights, and rush of other unfortunate incidents. What is etiquette? Etiquette, the complex network of rules that govern good behavior and our social and business interactions, is always evolving and changing as society changes. It reflects our cultural norms, general accepted ethical codes, and rules of various groups we belong to. It helps us show respect, consideration to others, makes others glad that we are with them. Without proper manners and etiquette, the customs of polite society will soon disappear and we will act more like animals and less like people. Aggressiveness and every man for himself attitude will take the lead. In earlier times, the rules of etiquette were used for two purposes: to remind people of their own status within society and reinforce certain restrictions on individuals within that society. In the Middle Ages and Renaissance, for instance, etiquette dictated everything from how low, low a person of inferior rank had to bow a person of higher rank to how long a man had to spend courting a woman before the two could marry. Even the way a person mourned was strictly outlined by rules of etiquette until recently as the Civil War era in the United States. Widows then were expected to dress in widow's weeds or completely black clothing veils for a full year after the death of a husband. It continues to say these types of rules in earlier society were usually determined by the ruling classes because they served the purposes of making them more secure in their roles as the rulers of society. By far, generally enforced rules of etiquette were tied how showed respectful kings and highest ranking officials such as dukes and princes. It reinforced their authority. The rules of etiquette concerning marriage, mourning, and other major events of life largely applied only to the ruling classes or the wealthy. Peasants and workers, as long as they followed the rules of etiquette pertaining to respecting their superiors, were not expected to follow formalized rules of courtship. They tended to base their own rules of courtship on good manners and common sense. To understand, over the centuries, as society has become more democratic, etiquette has become an excellent combination of good manners, common sense, and rules of conduct that reflect cultural norms and the rules of society as a whole rather than just one distinct group within it. It has less to do with the fashion of the moment or who is in power, more to do on putting others at ease and ethical code of conduct. That's my explanation to etiquette today. Thanks.